Meghan Markle's latest monetization bid looks set to be her most sick stunt yet.
He wakes up in the morning, picks up the newspaper, and then he's got Meghan pretending to be his mother again.
And that's what I find so distasteful about this woman.
Royal insiders are saying this may be the moment Meghan Markle finally pushed the royal family too far. Not because of another interview, not because of another podcast appearance, but because critics now believe she's turning the memory of Princess Diana into a commercial strategy.
As she puts her latest was never wardrobe onto her new website, Radar Online is reporting her latest fashion plot involves Princess Diana.
After a humiliating appearance in Geneva earlier this month, where photos from the event appeared to show a surprisingly small audience turnout, Meghan suddenly unleashed a flood of carefully timed PR content online. Within days, fans saw anniversary wedding photos, wardrobe reveals, new-as-ever promo clips, fashion speculation, and fresh lifestyle branding all hitting at once. And according to multiple industry observers, none of it looked accidental.
But here's the problem, P. Dinah, with all of this. No one wants to buy into Meghan's aesthetic or Meghan's lifestyle. So that's why she's trying to invoke Princess Diana. And look, she's done that for a long time.
What shocked royal watchers most was the growing obsession with Diana-coded imagery. The oversized white shirts, the soft neutral palettes, the relaxed luxury styling, the accessible royal aesthetic Diana became globally famous for in the 1990s.
Showing that for many years, Meghan has specifically gone for outfits which invoke Princess Diana. There's nothing subtle about what she's doing, P. Dinah. And of course, Diana is going to become the latest money-making scheme for her. I mean, this is obvious, isn't it?
Critics say Meghan isn't just inspired by Diana anymore. She may now be building an entire brand around echoes of her image. And insiders claim that's exactly where tensions inside the royal family are exploding. Because for Prince William, this isn't celebrity fashion inspiration. This is his mother's legacy. Now, after months of failed launches, awkward public appearances, weak product buzz, and declining Hollywood support,
because she can't do it herself. So that's why she's trying Lily, for example, in the cupboard. That's why this week she launched the candle on the back of the royal wedding and posted all of those images from inside the wedding, because we need to be reminded of the fact that once she actually sort of was half royal. And next it's going to be this subtle Diana influence in her fashion business. I'm not surprised, are you?
Meghan appears to be entering what critics are calling her most desperate reinvention yet. And this time, even Prince Harry may be starting to realize how far things have spiraled. Now, before we continue, we already broke down the Geneva backlash and the collapsing public response in detail right here on Crown Clash, so definitely check out those videos after this one. But what's happening now is where things start getting even darker. Because Geneva may have exposed something Meghan reportedly never wanted the public to notice. The hype just isn't there anymore. The event was supposed to reinforce her image as a global humanitarian figure.
And it's so weird because I heard something about the late queen and they said her childhood name Lilibet. And I immediately thought of Meghan's daughter. And that's what Meghan is doing. And it's such a subconscious thing, but that's what she's doing. She's trying to latch on to Diana's legacy and to use her clothing to invoke the memory of the late Princess Diana.
Instead, online reactions focused almost entirely on the low audience turnout, the awkward staging, and the fact that major media outlets barely covered it at all. For someone once predicted to become a billion-dollar post-royal powerhouse, the optics were brutal, and almost immediately after the backlash, everything changed. Suddenly, Meghan was everywhere again. New lifestyle clips, carefully curated wardrobe shots, anniversary nostalgia posts, glamorous Montecito imagery, fashion rumors, product placements, even strange, overly stylized promotional videos that many viewers said felt more like influencer thirst traps than luxury lifestyle branding.
There is a real stench of desperation now. I mean, I don't think we have seen a more desperate week where, I mean, I call it her flood the zone strategy. It's like something goes very badly wrong, so then it's very quickly on to the next. It means everything is very confused. No one really knows what's going on.
To critics, it looked less like confidence and more like panic. Multiple royal commentators now believe Meghan has entered full flood the zone mode. If one project underperforms, immediately launch another headline before the conversation settles. But the problem is, the strategy is starting to feel chaotic. Nothing stays in the spotlight long enough to succeed before the next rollout begins.
And look, the whole brand has always been a complete disaster because she doesn't know how to sell a lifestyle brand. I mean, you could argue, P. Dinah, that maybe fashion would be better if she's wanting to go for that type of more seductive image. But the problem is, she's not particularly good at fashion either, is she? Like a lot of people have, I mean, you know, I'm not a fashion guy, but a lot of people have been criticizing her outfits again.
And that's where the Diana controversy enters the picture. Because according to fashion insiders, Meghan's latest wardrobe imagery didn't look like random family content at all. It looked curated, deliberate, almost like a soft launch for a future fashion expansion tied to As Ever. Reports even claimed sizing charts for adult and children's clothing briefly appeared online before disappearing. That instantly triggered speculation that Meghan may be preparing a fashion line built around the exact aesthetic people most associate with Diana.
Also, she doesn't look good in her clothing. She doesn't have a model style body. And I don't like to say negative things around appearances like that, but when you look at her trying to sell clothing on her type of body frame, it doesn't fit well. She has like a SpongeBob type of body, like really small, skinny legs and like a upper, bigger top part. And the clothing just doesn't flow nicely. It doesn't complement the clothing.
Effortless luxury, relaxed denim, oversized shirts, muted glamour, and emotionally familiar royal imagery. And critics say that changes everything, because using royal connections for relevance is one thing, but monetizing visual parallels to Diana, especially while Harry's relationship with the monarchy remains shattered, could trigger a level of backlash Meghan hasn't faced before. For years, royal watchers have noticed the similarities between Meghan Markle and Princess Diana. The oversized white button-downs, the loose denim, the soft beige tones, the casual luxury styling designed to feel both glamorous and approachable at the same time.
What's new? Here we have it. Basically, Meghan is back to being an influencer because nothing else has worked. And sure enough, look at what we saw. Look at what we saw almost immediately. All of these outfits go on this awful fashion site because this woman needs cash.
At first, many people dismissed it as coincidence or even tribute. But critics now believe something has changed because this no longer looks like occasional inspiration. It looks strategic. According to fashion insiders following Meghan's latest As Ever rollout, every image being released now appears carefully curated, right down to the wardrobe placement, lighting, colors, and background details. And when Meghan recently posted a glimpse inside her Montecito wardrobe, industry observers immediately began speculating that it wasn't just another lifestyle post. It was a teaser. A teaser for fashion. Reports quickly surfaced claiming adult and children's sizing charts briefly appeared on the As Ever website, before mysteriously disappearing.
She is preparing to launch a fashion line inspired by Diana, the Princess of Wales, after posting what sources told RadarOnline.com was a carefully curated glimpse inside her Montecito wardrobe.
That only intensified rumors Meghan may be preparing to expand the brand beyond jams, candles, and lifestyle products into clothing, and not just any clothing. Clothing built around the exact visual identity that made Diana iconic worldwide. That's where the backlash exploded. Because Diana's image isn't just fashion, it's emotional history. To millions of people, Diana represented vulnerability, warmth, rebellion against royal stiffness, and a level of public connection the monarchy has never fully recreated since her death. And critics say Meghan understands exactly how powerful that imagery still is, which is why some royal commentators now believe she may be trying to commercially recreate it.
Meghan does not care about her connection to this family. If you are in close proximity, she is going to steal it to help herself.
The timing also raised eyebrows. After struggling to generate excitement around previous projects, Meghan suddenly shifted toward heavily nostalgic royal-coded visuals again. Wedding memories, royal references, soft-focus motherhood imagery, and now what many believe are deliberate Diana parallels. To critics, the pattern feels impossible to ignore. And for Prince William, this could reportedly be where things become deeply personal. Because while Harry has publicly spoken for years about protecting Diana's legacy, critics argue Meghan is now accused of transforming that same legacy into branding material.
Yeah, no, I'm not surprised at all. Meghan does this because, yes, she can't do it on her own. And it's like stealing the legacy to help yourself. It's no different than what she did with the naming of her daughter.
Royal insiders say William has always been fiercely protective of how Diana is represented publicly, especially when it comes to commercial exploitation. That's why this controversy is hitting differently. This isn't just another celebrity rebrand story anymore. This is Diana, arguably the most emotionally protected figure in modern royal history. And critics say Meghan may have crossed a line by turning visual echoes of Diana into a possible business model.
You know, Megan does not care about her connection to this family. If you are in close proximity, she is going to steal it to help herself, but not consider, how disrespectful it is to take from someone that is like in your family, so to speak, that you don't even care about doing the right thing to get permission or to see if it would be okay. You just want to run with it.
Especially because people have started connecting this to a larger pattern: the use of the Lilibet name, the constant return to royal nostalgia whenever public interest fades, the carefully timed wedding anniversary content, the repeated reminders of royal proximity whenever a launch struggles to gain traction on its own. According to critics, the message is becoming increasingly obvious. When Meghan's independent projects fail to dominate headlines, the royal connection returns to the center of the strategy. And now, Diana herself may be becoming part of that strategy too.
The fact that Harry hasn't even met, her father. They don't care about the traditions, the norms of etiquette. And that's what I think bothers people. And I think Meghan trying to look like she is this very classy woman, but the way she does things is so distasteful.
What makes this even more controversial is that Meghan reportedly isn't trying to recreate Diana's formal royal image. She appears to be targeting the most commercially valuable version of Diana, the relaxed humanitarian icon people still associate with effortless elegance decades later. That's the version that sells. The version fashion brands still reference. The version social media romanticizes constantly. The version audiences emotionally connect to instantly. And if Meghan truly launches a Diana-inspired fashion direction under As Ever,
She is just not on point with how it could have been done to be successful. And it all comes back to who she truly is as a person. When I said this on my show, Meghan has forgotten where she came from, and this is why she doesn't know where she's going.
critics believe the backlash could become explosive, not only from royal watchers, but from people who believe Diana's legacy should never be used as part of a celebrity lifestyle empire. But the accusations against Meghan Markle didn't stop with the Diana comparisons. Because according to critics, this controversy is part of a much bigger pattern, one they say has followed Meghan ever since she and Prince Harry left royal life behind. The accusation is becoming increasingly blunt. Every time public interest starts fading, Meghan returns to the royal connection, and critics believe the signs are everywhere. The use of the Lilibet name immediately sparked backlash years ago because it was so deeply tied to Queen Elizabeth II personally.
The one thing that you need to know about anything in life, always remember where you came from so you know where you are going. She has no clue about where she's going because she forgot where she came from.
Such a
And
good
that's
point.
the story about Meghan.
Such a good point.
Lilibet wasn't just a public nickname, it was considered one of the most private and emotionally significant names within the royal family. To many royal commentators, using it publicly already felt like crossing an invisible line. Now critics say the same thing may be happening again with Diana. Because over the last few months, Meghan's branding has reportedly become more and more dependent on royal nostalgia. Whenever a launch struggles to gain traction on its own, suddenly the public is reminded of the royal wedding, royal titles, royal imagery, royal family history, or Diana herself.
One of the most embarrassing things she's ever done, and that is saying something. And it shows her huge lack of popularity and the fact that the mainstream media just don't care about her. Rather than going away and thinking, okay, how can I strategize about this? What do I need to do better? How can we turn this around? She immediately has to throw something against the wall. So it was obviously the wedding pictures, but also this, P. Dinah.
And people are starting to notice the pattern. The latest anniversary rollout only intensified those accusations. Instead of keeping the moment private, Meghan released highly curated behind-the-scenes wedding content, including images many viewers found strange, awkward, or even uncomfortable. One particular photo showing Harry appearing tense near royal staff and children immediately triggered online speculation that there may have been conflict happening behind the scenes even back then.
The new weird image for Was Never, which to me almost looks like, because there's the other one from last week too, where it's almost like creepily seductive in the way that she's eating. And I'm like, who are you trying to sell to? Like, you're not an OnlyFans girl.
Critics questioned why such a specific image would be included at all, because it didn't look romantic, it didn't look celebratory, it looked loaded. And that's where the accusations become even more damaging. Some royal commentators now believe Meghan deliberately uses emotionally charged royal imagery because it guarantees attention in ways her independent projects no longer can. The problem for Meghan is that audiences are beginning to separate the branding from the reality. Her original post-royal image was built around independence, freedom from palace structures, freedom from tradition, freedom from the institution itself.
Why would Meghan being creepily seductive make you want to buy her lifestyle products?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Like, do you know your market? Do you know who the people are that would be buying this jam? Right? It's not men who you're trying to seduce.
Yes.
They're not buying jam.
But years later, critics argue that nearly every major headline surrounding Meghan still traces back to the same thing she claimed she wanted to escape: the monarchy. That contradiction is becoming harder to ignore. Because despite rebrands, podcasts, Netflix projects, speeches, lifestyle launches, and as-ever promotions, the moments generating the biggest reactions still involve Diana, the wedding, royal family drama, titles, or palace history. And critics say that dependence is starting to look less like coincidence and more like survival. Some royal insiders even believe this growing obsession with royal symbolism is creating deeper tension between Meghan and Harry privately.
And you know, another interesting point, Dan, when I saw that view of the closet, it looks like a closet, like what we call here in America, or a cabinet, a wardrobe for clothing, where she has the jam in. That thing is huge. It doesn't even look like a pantry.
And
for
it's not
food.
hers
It looks like a
anyway.
wardrobe.
It's not
true.
hers.
Because while Meghan reportedly continues leaning into the royal connection commercially, Harry has spent years publicly claiming he wanted to protect his family's privacy and preserve Diana's legacy from media exploitation. Now, critics argue the exact opposite may be happening. And for the royal family, especially Prince William, the situation reportedly feels increasingly personal, because this is no longer just about interviews or complaints. It's about whether deeply emotional parts of royal history are being transformed into content, aesthetics, and brand value. That's why this backlash feels different from previous controversies. The criticism now isn't simply that Meghan talks about the royals too much.
and how she's so, like, she sits back and she moves her hair. Like, what, are you exhausted now? Like, it's too much, you gotta take a break. Like, what is she doing in that moment? That clip was just so out of the norm. Like, get your jam, have some bread or something there, and spread it and eat it. Like, it was too much extra.
Critics believe she may be building an entire commercial identity around proximity to them, while simultaneously insisting she moved beyond them years ago. And if that perception continues growing, royal insiders believe the damage to Harry's relationship with his family could become almost impossible to repair. What's making this situation even more explosive is the growing belief that Prince Harry may finally be starting to see the consequences of everything that happened after leaving the monarchy. Because over the last year, the contrast between Harry's old life and his current reality has become impossible to ignore.
We will never buy from her because we see how she does other things, how she does things that are supposed to be done that are tasteful, like, the whole family connection and respecting the nickname of the late queen and not trying to just steal the late Princess Diana's name to sell your clothing, but do the right thing and ask permission. Would it be okay to do that? And she just doesn't care. And I think that's what bothers people the most.
Back in Britain, Harry was once surrounded by history, royal duty, military connections, lifelong friends, and a family identity that stretched back generations. Now, critics point out that his public image seems increasingly tied to struggling business launches, celebrity networking attempts, and carefully staged lifestyle branding centered around Meghan's projects. And according to royal commentators, that shift may be affecting him more than ever. One issue reportedly weighing heavily on Harry is his children growing up almost entirely disconnected from the royal side of the family. Critics have repeatedly pointed out that Archie and Lilibet have little visible connection to royal traditions, royal relatives, or even British culture itself. And as the years pass, that separation only becomes more permanent.
Meghan understands exactly how powerful Diana's image remains globally, and that leaning into those visual parallels is strategically very smart from a branding perspective. But because Diana's legacy is still so emotionally charged, any attempt to monetize echoes of the style risks being viewed by some people as cynical or exploitative. No sugar, Sir Sherlock.
Some royal insiders believe Harry never expected the distance to become this extreme. Because when Harry first left the UK, many believed there would eventually be some kind of reconciliation, private meetings, family healing, maybe even a gradual rebuilding of trust. Instead, the opposite happened. Relationships deteriorated further, public accusations escalated, interviews caused deeper resentment, and now even basic communication between Harry and senior royals reportedly remains strained. At the same time, Harry's position in Hollywood appears weaker than ever. When the Sussexes first arrived in California, they were treated like entertainment industry royalty.
What we're now seeing is Meghan unleashed too, without even the people at Netflix saying, "What are you doing?" And it just proves that she doesn't really know how to sell this product.
Billion-dollar predictions surrounded them. Major media deals poured in. Powerful celebrity circles welcomed them instantly. But now, critics say the excitement has faded dramatically. The evidence, according to royal watchers, is becoming increasingly obvious. Meghan and Harry are rarely seen inside elite Hollywood circles anymore. Public support from major celebrities has quietly disappeared. Even anniversary celebrations that once would have attracted endless celebrity tributes were met mostly with silence. And insiders claim Harry is noticing that too. Because while Meghan reportedly continues pushing new reinventions, Harry increasingly looks uncomfortable during public appearances.
She doesn't know and she doesn't have the guidance. And even if she did, she wouldn't listen because she always feels that she has the right answers. And that's the problem that Meghan has, is that she can't listen to the people that know better. And I think she had been told about her jams, but this is something that she wanted to do because she was trying to emulate all the things that are being sold by the monarchy, like the king's jams. She was trying to be in competition with the monarchy around the things that they sell.
Royal commentators have pointed to his body language, subdued interviews, and growing absence from some of Meghan's branding efforts as signs that something may be shifting behind the scenes. Then came the wedding photo controversy. Among the anniversary images Meghan released, one photo immediately sparked online discussion because Harry appeared visibly tense during an interaction involving royal staff and children at the wedding. Critics questioned why Meghan would include such an awkward moment in a supposedly romantic anniversary tribute unless there was another message behind it. Some believe it was accidental chaos. Others think it revealed far more than intended. Either way, the reaction only fueled speculation that cracks inside the marriage may be becoming harder to hide publicly. And according to some royal commentators, Harry may now feel trapped between two worlds he can no longer fully belong to. Britain no longer feels accessible after years of conflict with the monarchy.
Meghan doesn't have a big profile where she could just go out and sell things. People needed to get to know her and to really warm to her character, being a part of the monarchy, a woman who was out doing good things, who treated her family well, who didn't fall out with the real royals. She needed long-term character.
But Hollywood hasn't delivered the power, admiration, or stability the Sussexes were once promised either. Instead, Harry now finds himself watching Meghan double down on increasingly controversial branding strategies while his own relationship with his family continues collapsing in the background. That's why some critics believe Harry's recent behavior reflects something deeper than stress. They believe he's starting to realize the life he left behind may never be recoverable, and the new one built around celebrity branding may not be sustainable either. And if Meghan truly moves forward with using Diana-inspired imagery as part of a larger commercial empire, insiders believe Harry could soon face the most painful contradiction of all.
Desperately needs cash. And even though there was all the criticism about Geneva, she knew that if she put up these was never outfits, that would be the way to start getting some money coming in.
Watching his mother's legacy become part of the very celebrity machine he once claimed destroyed her. Perhaps the biggest warning sign of all is what's happening in Hollywood. Because when Meghan Markle and Prince Harry first arrived in California, the entertainment industry treated them like untouchable global stars. Streaming giants rushed to sign them. Billion-dollar headlines followed them everywhere. Celebrity elites wanted photos, dinners, partnerships, connections. At the time, many people genuinely believed Harry and Meghan were about to become the most powerful royal-adjacent couple in the world.
That Meghan was using it to tease an expansion of her lifestyle brand as ever into fashion.
But now, that fantasy appears to be collapsing. And critics say the silence surrounding their anniversary exposed just how dramatically their status has fallen. Royal watchers immediately noticed something strange this year. Almost no major celebrity publicly acknowledged Harry and Meghan's anniversary. No massive Instagram tributes, no glamorous celebrity gatherings, no visible Hollywood support. For a couple once surrounded by A-listers at their wedding, the contrast felt brutal, especially because the absence itself became the story. Critics began pointing out that Meghan is rarely seen inside elite celebrity circles anymore.
Meghan clearly admires that image and seems interested in recreating elements of that accessibility for a modern audience through fashion. Observers examining the wardrobe photo pointed to the visible Armani Christian Dior pieces alongside carefully coordinated neutral and pastel garments as potential clues toward the direction of any future collection.
Even when major Hollywood figures attend private parties, award events, or luxury gatherings, Meghan's presence is often missing entirely. And according to commentators watching celebrity social media closely, there's a noticeable pattern emerging. Celebrities may still quietly remain cordial with Meghan privately, but they no longer want public association with her brand. That distinction matters, because in Hollywood, image is everything. And once someone becomes viewed as controversial, unpredictable, or commercially toxic, distancing begins very quickly. Some insiders believe that's exactly what has happened here. The Sussexes were originally marketed as inspirational disruptors, modern royals escaping a toxic institution to build something bigger on their own terms.
Even if it is your in-laws, you don't do that. It's disrespectful.
But over time, the narrative reportedly shifted. Instead of innovation, audiences saw constant complaints, public family warfare, failed launches, awkward interviews, brand confusion, and projects that generated headlines without lasting success. Now, critics say many celebrities simply view Harry and Meghan as exhausting. And for Meghan especially, that creates a massive problem, because her entire post-royal reinvention depended on elite Hollywood acceptance. Without powerful celebrity backing, her lifestyle empire becomes much harder to sell as aspirational luxury. That's why some royal commentators believe Meghan keeps escalating the branding strategies.
Well, I was really surprised that she would even put the photos of the children like that. I think it does look like there is some confrontation there. There's
Yeah.
something symbolic around the photo. It doesn't make sense to even show it. So you have to think, why is she showing this? And I think it is to show that there was something definitely not good that was happening there. But then also, why would you post the children?
The glamorous Montecito imagery, the carefully curated effortless elegance, the seductive lifestyle promos, the constant reintroduction of royal nostalgia. Critics believe all of it is designed to maintain the illusion of exclusivity and influence, even as public fascination continues weakening. But the industry itself may already be moving on. Even rumors involving figures like Oprah Winfrey have intensified speculation that Hollywood's most powerful players are becoming cautious about public ties to the Sussexes. While none of those claims have been confirmed, the perception alone is damaging enough.
The world respecting Meghan Markle and Harry's privacy, except Meghan Markle and Harry themselves. Imagine going from a wedding packed with A-listers to 8 years later and yet not one visible celebrity friend, not one bestie.
In celebrity culture, once people start believing association with you hurts brands instead of helping them, the invitations begin disappearing quietly. And critics believe Meghan is seeing that happen in real time. Because despite endless attempts at reinvention, the Sussexes no longer dominate Hollywood the way they once did. The excitement is gone. The mystery is gone. Even outrage fatigue appears to be setting in. Instead of feeling like global power players, critics say Harry and Meghan increasingly look like celebrities desperately trying to recreate momentum they already lost. That's what makes the Diana controversy so risky.
Not one A-lister or family publicly wishing them a happy anniversary. No posts, no flowers, no tributes, just silence.
Because some insiders believe Meghan understands her independent celebrity image may no longer be powerful enough on its own, which is why critics say she keeps returning to the one thing guaranteed to generate emotional public reaction: the royal family. And if Hollywood truly has started distancing itself behind the scenes, then Meghan's reported attempt to build an empire around royal nostalgia, luxury aesthetics, And Diana-coded imagery may not just be another rebrand. It may be her last major attempt to stay culturally relevant at all. And that's why some royal insiders believe this story is heading towards something much bigger than another failed rebrand or another awkward headline. Because what started as a celebrity reinvention is now beginning to look like a complete identity crisis.
They've floated renewing vows in the media, and now I'm wondering if the issue isn't renewing them, it's finding enough people willing to attend.
Critics say Meghan Markle keeps pushing further into royal nostalgia because her independent image no longer generates the influence it once did. Meanwhile, Prince Harry appears increasingly isolated, cut off from the monarchy, disconnected from old friendships, and trapped between California celebrity culture and the royal life he walked away from. And if the Diana-inspired branding rumors are true, many believe the fallout could become irreversible. Because once Diana's legacy becomes part of a commercial empire, critics say there may be no way back for Harry with the royal family, especially with Prince William. At this point, the question is no longer whether Harry and Meghan's royal exit succeeded. The question is how much further this collapse can go. And trust us, this story is moving fast. So if you want the latest royal drama, insider reactions, Hollywood fallout, and everything happening behind the scenes with Harry, Meghan, William, and the royal family, make sure you subscribe to Crown Clash right now, because we're covering the newest developments every single day.